Okay, last night Donald Trump was in Alabama and he attracted a huge crowd. I think he had it at a stadium that seats about 40,000 or so, and I think his people are putting his crowd at somewhere close to that, definitely over 30,000. A quick pan of his audience shows that it's overwhelmingly white. Of course, we all knew that. He is not getting a lot of support from blacks or Hispanics, but that doesn't seem to bother the people who come to his crowd. In fact, they are enthusiastic, getting louder by the moment, and the common theme seems to be taking our country back. Taking it back from whom or from who? I always get that wrong. But taking it back from whom is to me kind of a mystery. But hey, it is what it is. Anyway, the pundits are falling all over themselves, trying to figure out why are these people liking Donald Trump. Well, for me, I don't have to ask the questions. I just go to an article on Donald Trump and I skim right down to the comment section, as I would do here. So this is a comment section off the Yahoo article. And this first one is by somebody named J. Zeus Charlie. And he just writes, "Orange toupee will shine over Bama." Okay, that's just an excitement about that. Okay, all right. So let's go on to someone else. I just, not only with a silent majority, but the old line conservative Democrats are coming back into the fold again. And that's somebody who's really got his head in the clouds. And a couple of people responded to him, yes, they are. And somebody named Francis said, the old line conservative Democrats, as you call them, are mostly dead from old age. Chet said, Francis, I don't think so. Those old line Democrats, conservative Democrats, brought their children and grandchildren up as old time Dems, not the new age socialists that are running around calling themselves Democrats rather than the socialists they are. The old time Dems are now all part of the Aryan nation. Okay, I got a little off track there. Somebody named Bazgat decided he would put the 10 principles of the Democratic voter. And number 1, he says, I want it. Number 2, I want it now. Number 3, I want it for free. Number 4, I want someone else to pay for it. Number 5, I am entitled to it. I don't have to earn it. Number 6, I'm not personally responsible for anything. Number 7, it's always someone else's fault. Number 8, I'm a victim. Number 9, I want what you have. Number 10, gimme, gimme, gimme. Cute. Okay, Go Stars writes, agree with Luke. Jeb Bush is so similar to Hillary, we may have to see if he had an account on her email server. Trump isn't my first choice, but he has risen into the top 3. Someone named Steve says, go Trump, go. Keep telling it like it is and let all the liberals, yahoos, and right-wing nuts head spin. Let's stop the political correctness and start talking about the real issues. The real issues. Okay. All right. Politicians create problems but never solve them. And then Bruce says that Trump is right. He is one silent dude. All right. Silent majority. Funny, 2008 to 2012 proved it. The silent majority is on the left. Okay. They don't like, that's not a Trump man there, obviously. Okay. And someone named Dare Time says, I challenge any liberal to explain, rationalize how massive immigration does not violate every deeply held liberal agenda. Don't know anything about that. Okay. And Big On there simply says Trump 2016. He puts 3 or 4 exclamation points. Ronald says, I lean Democratic, but I think he is right about the anchor babies, talking about Trump. And someone named Great Day says, go forth and tell them the truth, Donnie. All right. Let's see. I had some others here. Let me see. Okay, let me scroll down here. All right, we're a few of the biggest idiots to run for president since the half-turned princes of Wasili, and you want to appeal to the stupidest of the stupid base, come to Alabama. That's obviously not a Trump person there, and there's a lot of Trump people on because they got a lot of thumbs down. All right, they're coming in fast and furious here. Okay, Gunny says, go Donald, go. Deport illegals, build a fence, eliminate welfare to anyone able-bodied, not to useless slugs, make America strong again, and get rid of Muslims and any Muslims in high government positions. And that's really the theme, because when I first started looking at these comments earlier, when I was getting ready to do the blog post, there were a lot more comments that were from Donald's people. Now it's getting a little flooded with some anti-Donald people, and so I don't really want to read those just yet. But the point I was trying to make before the anti-Donald people started flooding this is that there's a common theme with the people who are supporting Donald Trump. And you can see for yourself, you don't have to take my word for it. And you don't have to take the pundits' word for it, because the pundits haven't gotten it figured out yet. Whenever you see a Donald Trump article, simply go to the article. You can skim through it just to get an idea of what it's about, but then go down to the comment section. And the people who are supporting Donald Trump will let you know exactly why they are supporting Donald Trump. And from what I've seen, besides the common thing being take our country back from whoever they say got it, even though we're all Americans, that's a common theme. And the major thing that has gotten a lot of these folk riled up is that they are still pissed that Barack Obama won 2 terms. And they are pissed that he got some of his policies enacted. And they see and they feel as if the establishment Republicans let them down. They're pissed about that. Not only did he have the audacity to get elected twice, he had the audacity to get policies pushed through. And they are so pissed that they're going to turn into Donald Trump. And Donald knows just how to feed them. He knows just how to feed them. You know, you throw that red meat at them. You know, they're mad about immigration. They're mad about Obamacare, mad about all these things. But if you ask them, and I sometimes engage in these comment sections, because I always, if you see my blog posts, I always ask the question, how does something affect you individually, you personally? Not what you think it might do 10 years, 20 years from now, right? You hear a lot of that thrown in. Oh, it's going to increase the debt for my grandkids are going to have to pay the bill. All that aside, what affects you right now today? All right. And a lot of times they can't answer that question. They'll go right back into, oh, it's just terrible for the country. And I like to say that I'm a center left guy. Like I'm center. I like to see both sides, but I lean more toward the left. What keeps me from going to the right? I hate hearing statements like I had this one young lady commented that even when Donald Trump gets into office, he's going to have a hard time cleaning up the mess, the foreign policy mess that Barack Obama did. She don't think anybody's going to be able to clean up that mess. That Barack Obama did such a terrible job. And the thing I hate when I hear stuff like that is that how can you say that President Barack Obama did a terrible job and not acknowledge the Bush years? When you hear stuff like Barack Obama was the worst president ever by the same people who refuse to acknowledge any of the mistakes that President Bush did, it's beyond me. All the things that everyone said would happen under President Barack Obama literally happened under George Bush. There was a economic crisis under George Bush. There was George Bush destabilized the Middle East with an unwarranted war. Those things actually happened. Not, oh, this could happen or it's going to happen in the future. They actually happened. Yet, in their mind, President Barack Obama is the worst president ever of all time. So much so that they are willing to elect Donald Trump, who used to be a Democrat, or not only been a Democrat, but held some Democratic-like views. But they don't care. It's like, y'all screwed us, and we're going to screw you right back, and we're going to get to Donald. It's kind of a juvenile way of thinking. And Donald feeds right into that. Because it's just like when you listen to the Donald, sometimes he can sound kind of juvenile. I want a wall, I'm going to get a wall. And they're going to build that wall. How they going to do it, Donald? I don't know, I'm going to hold my breath to that building. I mean, it would be funny if it wasn't so serious, but that's on the Republican side. I love listening to, reading some of these comments, and they're actually buying into Donald Trump, man. They think that Donald's going to win the presidency. Now, personally, I think that he has a viable shot at winning the Republican nomination, if just by being the last man standing. But he's not going to win the presidency of the United States. But I think there are a sizable amount of people on the Republican side that wants to see that happen. They want to see him run on the national stage, right? Because they want to. What those people don't seem to understand is that on the Democratic side, there's a coalition of so many different people that actually represents America. And those people hadn't come over and gained it yet. America is whites, blacks, Hispanics, Muslims, Asians, Indians, gays, straights, transgender. That's America. That's the melting pot. But there's a sizable number of Republicans that just refuse to see that. They see the country as theirs. Such a selfish way to look at things. This is not your country. It's our country. All of us. Not just Christians, but Buddhists, Islamists, or whatever you call people who do Islam. Atheists. Right? It's all of us. That's America. That's what it was built on. So if you're waiting for that to come back, it ain't going to happen. And worse yet for you, the Donald cannot make it happen. He cannot make it happen. And your opinion is not America. You hear these people say, oh, we are the Americans. We the silent majority. No, there is a majority, and the majority is not silent. It's all of us. And we want the country to work for all of us, not just a little bit. Not just a small handful of people. America is a great country, but it's a melting pot of many different ideas, many different races, many different religions, sexual orientations, all that. That's America. And so you can get pissed off at Democrats because we see America as it really is. And you can love the Donald because he's trying to tell you America is giving you the idea of America that fits your narrative, but it's not reality. And you can get hype and all that. But America will leave you. We want you over here. We recognize your kookiness. And as long as you're not violent toward others, we would tolerate that. We would tolerate it. But America has moved on. It's a great, great country. We want you to come along for the ride. But if not, stay behind and let the Donald continue to entertain as well as lie to you.